Welcome to our full moon in Gemini play date. We're going to have a circle and a play date. We're going to actually do some work in your dance today. I'm really excited about it because part of Gemini's whole thing is around rewriting our story. So let's get a new storyline going here. We're going to work on that. So if you don't have your dance journal handy, pop out, go get it, and then come back. I'd also recommend having plenty of water and your joysticks, noise makers, if you want to participate in that. So we're going to call in the circle. I've got some fire going here, so let me light the Palo Santé. These are some new sticks that are good and juicy, so it doesn't take quite as long, which is cool. There we go. Okay, we're going to clear this room. And this is actually sacred wood from the Amazon, and so while it's here with me physically, it's there with you etherically. Just imagine that your entire room is being cleared, and the sacred space is being set for our circle today. So as we like to do, let's create our sacred space, taking a nice deep breath in and out, dropping our hands forward and spreading them apart. Just imagining that we are separating space and time, which energetically we are, holding them out just a moment to really notice that out past your left hand is the past, and out past your right hand is the future. And that's where they're going to stay while we play in this little space of now. Another deep breath in and out. Even as you drop your hands, this space of now remains. Know that you can do that anytime. So in the middle of the day, in the middle of the turkey cooking or eating, you can just and come back to yourself. So we're going to make a little bit of joyful noise here as we call in our guides and those who are going to work with us today. And calling all those who love us unconditionally to join us here in this circle, knowing that whether you are here live or you're listening by replay, you are part of our circle. I just imagine us and feel us holding hands at this moment, knitting our hearts together in this common place. I love this temple, and I love each one of you. A deep breath in and out. Just imagining that around us now is this etheric circle. It's a safe, protected space where we can work and play, enjoy. I'm not convinced that the Indians that helped the pilgrims, oh, y'all have to love me, don't you? Had rain sticks, but hey, in homage to all Native peoples, including our ancestors, wherever they were, wherever we came from, we were native somewhere at some point. We honor all of those. And we honor the bravery, and the determination and the devotion that brought that tiny little group of people called pilgrims to this strange land where they had no earthly idea except they felt that the Lord was going to protect them. They wanted freedom to practice their religion, their belief system, how they saw the world, without influence or persecution. And that's what drove them to this land. And bless their hearts. Are there a lot of things they could have done better? Yes. Are there a lot of things we could do better? Yes. So I just bless them all. I bless all adventurers, including us. We are modern day pilgrims. We are on the leading edge. We are walking this fine line between what is and what is going to be. And we walk that line. That's what brought you here into the temple, into my world, if you will, is this desire to be a leading edge walker, even if those are not the words that you put on it. So I honor you. Sophia is joining me in saying, you are, no matter how it looks, no matter how it feels, no matter anything, you are exactly where you are to be in this moment for where you are desiring to go. Even if you don't know where that is yet, you hadn't bought the map, but your soul has the map, and you are ready. Woo! All right. Well, that got off to a bang. Woo-hoo-hoo. All right, let me move a few things around so they don't get messed up in our journaling. All right, I'm going to turn us over to the workstation. And let's see how well this works. All right. Beautiful. So I have my, there's my dance book, and there's our printable. I'm still experimenting with these printables because, as y'all saw last month, my ink ran all over everywhere when I tried to glue it down, and that was not a happy surprise. It shouldn't have surprised me at all because I do not have a laser printer. So I tried two different things. I tried to remember, something came back to my mind that if you freeze the paper, it will stop. It won't run. Well, that didn't work. This has been freezing for about a week. And then somebody said, oh, spray it with hairspray. So I tried that, and that didn't work. However, I am going to go ahead and get El Cheapo hairspray, because it may be that I was using my fancy high-powered stuff, and so that didn't work. But I will keep working. And if any of you come up with a way that you can print printables on your regular old home printer and then be able to put wet stuff on them, please let me know. So, perfect. All right, so let me talk a little bit about Gemini, and then we will launch in right here. So a lot of this I get from Tanishka is her name. She's Australian, and she's called the Moon Woman. And so what she is sharing with us about the full moon is, this is so cool. Now we know the full moon comes in on Friday. So we're a little tiny bit ahead because we've got this pesky thing called Thanksgiving vacation in the middle. But yay team. So full moon in Gemini comes in at 0 degrees. Da-da! I know, that's a big deal. It is 0 is considered ground zero for new beginnings. Now the key to avoiding, I know, it's like, yay! Wow. The key to avoid conflict during this full moon is communication. So we're really being asked to be direct in our communicating for our fears and for our needs. Otherwise, they're going to build up, and we will then have an emotional outburst, which is kind of a manipulative mood, and we don't want to do that. So it's kind of that, if I don't say anything, I don't say anything, you know how you just blow up. So we want to avoid that. So let's just be open and honest about our fears and our needs with the people we need to communicate with, including, I know, novel concept, ourselves. Yeah, including ourselves. So Gemini's ruling planet is beautiful old Mercury, who is retrograde at the moment. And this provides us the opportunity to reflect on what we have learned since the last retrograde. And this is especially in relation to relationships, because Venus has just exited her 40-day retrograde, and where so much focus was put on relationships. So we can just calmly paying some attention to what happened. What did I learn from it? What will I do now? This is a perfect time for that. Gemini is the archetypal energy of the Magi and or the alchemist. So that's the energy that as we look at, okay, these were the things that happened in the last week, month, 6 weeks-ish. How will I take that and change it into gold? How will I make it work for me? That's the energy of these two little guys here. The twin part of Gemini is our dual nature. It speaks to the fact that we are both light and shadow, or light and shadow. So it speaks to both of them. It's asking us to go in both directions. And you see, especially in this, the way that this drawing is done, you can see that those are two hands holding, but in a way it looks like they're inseparable. And they really are. Our light and our shadow sides are totally inseparable, because the shadows are just pieces of ourselves that we shut down, pushed aside, because somewhere along our trail we were shamed about something. And, oop, I'm too much, I'm too this, I'm too that. And we push it into the shadow. And that's where it ends up. And that's why we do the work. Anything in your shadow is going to push to come back into the light. And in the process of doing that, it actually rules your life, which is amazing. Some of y'all have your part of your sacred template. And this is the human design piece. This one is the one with the I Ching mandala around it. And that's what all of these gates are. And the numbers inside, these are the gates. These gates are all archetypal parts of every human being. And each and every gate has a lower energy, which we would consider a shadow, and the highest energy, and in between as we move up. So this can even help us with where are our strengths and where are our, and weaknesses is not the word I want to use, but where are the places where we really want to play, where we really want to look at. So we've got a lot of tools to work with around our shadows. So as we acknowledge our dual nature, we can move more into integrity. as we see and love this dual nature of ours, y'all know I always talk about just loving all of you, then we can be accountable for our multifaceted character. We can even laugh about it, which I know if you're in the middle of a shadow that you're still not pleased with, the idea of being able to laugh about it seems laughable, but you will. So when you take responsibility for all of you, what we call, the good, bad, and the ugly, now there's a lot of labeling in that one, but you know what I mean when I say that. But when we take responsibility, then there is no blame or shame. And that is toward ourselves and other people. We're moving out as we expand and grow and mature and become more loving with ourselves. We're moving out of this idea that somebody made me act a certain way. They may very well have stepped on the landmine trigger, but the landmine and the trigger are still yours. And if you want to go even more esoteric and deep, they came specifically to step on and trigger that landmine so you have the opportunity to clean it up. Yeah, I know. Let's take a deep breath in and out. This is where the piece of how we can come to being one and how we can love ourselves and love everyone else, because they're not out to get us. They're on a mission that we agreed to eons ago, and now they're fulfilling it. And so if we allow these places that are triggered to then, which is what we're going to work on today, we're going to practice that. You're triggered. What do you do with it? You go dance about it and be curious about the story. Now, Gemini is an air sign, so we could get caught up in our heads. So what we're going to do is focus on observing your thoughts rather than reacting blindly to them. That whole who does that belong to? It's going to be really used during this particular full moon. Now, dancing, of course, helps us tune into our inner witness rather than to be impressionable like a child. And no matter what is said, wherever it filters through our mind, we grab it and run with it. We don't do that anymore. Y'all remember the monkey parade? We get to the place where we are standing maybe even further than just the sidewalk, but we are not in the middle of that monkey parade anymore. We're not singing along, being stomped on, or cleaning up the mess. We're just not part of it. It just goes by. Now, Gemini is also an opportunity to consider our stories and to upgrade them if they no longer serve us. We actually create drama to distract ourselves. Silly as that sounds, but think about it. We create a story that aligns with our wounds and our preconceived opinions and ideas. This is the place where when you can grab this, my entire life shifted. Everyone is right. Because if someone says, everything is bad, I can't get a break, blah, 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 blah. That's their belief. That's their story. That's their opinion. It is also their experience. Because the experiences come into our lives, again, here we're back to quantum physics, because the energy of the experiences match the energy of the beliefs. So to shift your experiences, you've got to start with your beliefs. Now, that's been kind of color coded to thoughts create things, which is a great catchphrase. And if you don't understand any of this, and you can start going, ooh, thoughts create things, it's a great place to start. There's a tiny bit more to it than that. But the point is that your experiences can only match what you believe. Whew. So when you are triggered, it's a cause for celebration. I know most of us don't hold it that way, but let's work on it that way today. But it's a cause for celebration because there's a story asking to be heard. So stay curious. Ask for more information, which will lead to more understanding. So let's play with that now. So I want you to think about, and open to a spot so you've got an extra page to glue down and all of that good stuff. Write on either side, doesn't matter. You may end up writing on both of them. Whatever works for you. My pencil I laid somewhere. Here it is. And what I'm going to ask you to do is think about somewhere that you were triggered this week. Something that happened that it just brought up whatever it brought up. Now that could be around time. It could be around traditions or lack thereof, or you not wanting to follow everyone else's and feeling pressured. It could be around finances and money. It could be around just family. It could be around anything. So what we're going to look at here is we're going to look at that incident. So go ahead and just jot down whatever the particular trigger that you want to work with in the next few minutes here is. We're just going to write it down first. All right. Now, stepping a step back, letting it just lie there a second. What is the underlying story? So to get to that, let's think. I mean, if you've got the story, go ahead and put it down. But if you're feeling for it, let's ask these questions. Remember, we're being curious. Okay. I have this thing that got triggered. I have this feeling, this opinion, this attitude, whatever it is that got triggered. What do I believe about this? What makes this true? You could also come at it from another angle of, wow, read it one more time and ask, where am I feeling this in my body? Because that can point to what chakra is involved, which can point to the, like the first chakra is around being part of the tribe. The second chakra is around security. The third chakra is around being accepted. The heart is love. So feel it in your body. So whatever way, and just free flight, just do your do in your dance. Just right and right and right. So we will work on that for a minute. You may notice that as you keep writing, all of a sudden you'll kind of get this real hit, and it'll be, I usually say, oh, there it is. You kind of get the top layers of how you've kept it hidden, and then as you just keep writing, even if all you do is go, you know, whatever, making marks, it will go down, and the piece that's holding this intact, that is asking to be heard, because if it wasn't asking to be heard, you wouldn't be triggered. That's going to pop. And when that pops, get it down. Ooh, all right, there it is. Yeah, now I've run into one that has come up from something I learned from the human design piece. One of my open centers, which are the ones that aren't colored, one of the questions, the not self, meaning when I am running and being someone I am not totally. One of my things is I never know when enough is enough. And so what I'm running here got me into the story around how with my mother specifically, my dad was pretty much just not part of the child rearing part of the life. You always had to be better. Better. You could come home with straight A's, and why was there not an A+ on one? I mean, seriously, people. There was never any credit given. My sister and I, bless her heart, we would clean the house. If we got the house cleaned on Saturday in time, we could watch American Bandstand. And we would just knock ourselves silly. And this is the one that stands out. This is better. we really did a fabulous job. We did. We had to. And so looked around and 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 finally said, you need to get that dust bunny out from behind the back leg in the middle of the back of the couch. Hence, I have learned I always sandwich my criticism with, great job, girls. But it was that, so this is the pressure, and because I came in here with this, I don't know when enough is enough. I brought in a mother who never let anything be enough. See how we were talking about how it's other people are not doing things to us. Could she have been a better mother? Sure. However, perhaps that's the best mother I needed. Now, yes, it took me a few years to get to the place where I'm now seeing I called in that thing to bring me to a place where I can go, whoa, where am I running? When is enough programming? Because, and that's what I wrote here. I know y'all can't see it, which is the point of the dance, but I wrote here, this affects my whole life. The need to be better, the need to be more. That underlying, and it is so deep that I've done so much work that it's not just up here, you know, it's not out in the open really anymore. But it's that little tiny neatly thing that's just pushing. So I'm hoping y'all had a breakthrough like that. If it feels good to you, share it with us in our Facebook group. We'd love to hear it. And if you're not on Facebook, I know there's a couple of you who aren't, just shoot me an email. I would love to hear and witness your story. All right, so if you're complete, if you're not complete and you're listening to the replay, just pause us and complete. If you are complete, let's go ahead and do the rest. Where we go. This thing is just full of all that energy. So we're going to return the energy with love and consciousness. Let my mother and myself off the hook. So any energy that does not belong to me, I return to sender with love and consciousness. Any energy that belongs to something else, like, hello, generations of mothers and daughters not understanding themselves. Woo! And, you know, for you, whatever you brought up, and we don't have to know. So I just happen to have that hit on what it is for me. It's not important. You're not trying to figure out what you're returning. But we're going to return this energy to the universe, where it'll be transmuted into love and usable energy. So deep breath in and out. And in this process, whatever energy is contained in this page that belongs to me, I love you, I love you, I love you. And I just kind of feel compelled to say, you are enough. You always have been. Beautiful. Woo! Art. Calling me art. Okay. Now, as you know with the dance, there's a couple things you can do. You can actually take. The idea is that we're covering this because it's just gone. It's been cleared. It's out of our system. It's out of our body. And so you can glue those two together if you want. I like to cover it this way. And I'm thinking I'm going to actually figure out, I'm going to do my, I know I'm just going to make it hard on myself, but that's okay. I'm going to put my Gemini dude and turn this into a double page spread here with the guys. Or gals, we'll put some food on them. So I'm going to need a background. So I think I am going to, you all know I love gesso. Except then I can never get the lid open because it glues itself shut. Ah, yay team. So I'm going to drop a little bit of gesso on this page. And I am going to, I'm going to put some color in it. Ooh. How about some gold? So I'm going to color my gesso. Now, you can use markers, you can use crayons, you can use collage. Remember we did collage last month. So whatever strikes your fancy, and however you want to color this, whatever makes you happy. But never knowing when enough is enough, I'm going to gesso it with gold paint. I love myself. I tell you what I love. I love getting something, no matter what it is, on a paintbrush. There's just, this is what happens for me. And I probably have enough gesso on here for 3 pages, but hey, why not be? And if I get it on here thick enough, I can actually glue the page down with it, which would be kind of, oh, there we go. Oh, nice. And then we can do, whoop, forgot, hang on a minute. Gotta put something here. And I've been using parchment paper. This is actually standing right here. Because if you don't, you'll end up gluing everything together. Like, like all 49 of the remaining pages will then be glued together. Trust me on this one. Don't ask me how I know. Ooh, maybe I'll come up with something cool doing an ink blot here. There we go. Ooh. So, my friends, I have been doing more and more art, and I am so, I'm so desiring to start doing more and more art with y'all. Even if it's just on a video, and if you can come and play with me, fine. Otherwise, it'll be there for you. And I haven't quite gotten yet exactly what that's going to look like. And there's days when I'm like, you know, you really ought just set this camera up and do my daily art, which is like a journaling. It's just a spiritual practice for me. Just slapping some paint on something is meditation for me. And just do it every day, and y'all tag along or not. Kind of like, remember back in the day, I am so sorry Periscope stopped being really viable, and because that was fun. But it was just hard to get people actually on the platform, and they didn't understand what you're talking about. It was just everything, y'all know. All right. And there's not any left. Perfect. And I have a bone folder somewhere, but only heaven knows where it is, so I'm going to use too high. Yes, she said, this will be fun and easy. There we go. All right. This will be fun and easy. Very nice. All right. Now, I think I can keep working. That's one thing with having a couple projects going at the same time, so that when you get to a point where something has to dry, you can just move on to something else that's more fun. I was playing with the colored pencils today, and so that's what I'm thinking. I'm going to do these with an idea toward the dualistic nature of Gemini. And I guess I'm going to put gold all over the paper because it's going to end up on my fingers, and I'm going to do it that way. So what I'm thinking is, I've got these little paint. There's water. Where are y'all at? It's a water brush. And so it's just filled with water. So what I'll do is I want to do a light and a dark. And that's a stabilo, that won't work. I think the only really dark I have is, oh no, there's black. So I'm going to actually, so I'm going to color. This is watercolor pencil. So I'm going to actually color there, not on my page. And then when you push this, a little bit of water comes out, which then will turn it, and I pick up. So I'm going to do one of these. And my goal is to make it really light. So I need a little more water there, girlfriend. So that I can see the pattern. And I'm going to do a light and a dark. And these water pens, there's some that are called aqua fill, and they're pretty pricey. I think that might be one. Now this is a Sakura, and who knows what this one is. But I actually found them in a set, so I've got the different, I got a really thin, this one is a thin brush because I knew I was going to be doing it here. So now I've got to decide my original thought, because y'all know how long it took me to get that Taurus the Bull finally colored in. I was thinking about just like doing this one the shadow, and then the other one light, but I'm kind of, as I'm sitting here working on it, I'm thinking maybe I should do this one like in multicolors, not just one color. Although I was thinking about maybe yellow. And then I've got plenty of exterior here to really add some colors. So I hear some markers clicking over there. Kathleen, what are you doing with yours?
Well, I have these Copic things.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've got a whole bunch of them, but since I moved, I don't have the whole collection, but I have some here, and I'm playing with them, and I've decided to make my shadow side actually a beautiful blue. It's called ultramarine, and it's a darker kind of blue, not quite as dark as a navy, because I want my dark side to be considered beautiful.
Yes, and you know, I almost did this one purple. I might go back and put purple on top. Now, you do store your Copic markers laying flat, right?
No, I did not know that. Am I supposed to?
Actually, I'm even supposed to turn these Pigma. Yeah, any of those kinds of pens, they're supposed to be stored flat.
Okay.
And I saw a girl yesterday, and it was brilliant. She had them in, she had them in a thing. One was a little box, and the other markers were, it was kind of a round. It was round, but it had flattened sides.
Okay.
So, in other words, it was like they would have stood up straight, except then when she laid them sideways, she could see all the colors. I have mine in a box.
So
but what they found is that the color will actually change.
Oh.
Okay. If they're left, so because all the ink or the dye, because it's actually ink and dye, will drain. I was surprised. So I got a container, and I've been throwing them all in there, storing them flat. Yeah. But they're pricey enough that we kind of want to take care of them.
Yeah, I have the little boxes that can be set upright or sideways. So I'll just
Yes.
change them all to go sideways. Thank
Yes, just flip them.
letting me
Yeah,
know.
just flip them sideways. It's something to do. Yeah, it is something to do with the ink. But the gal I saw yesterday, she actually had one that she had been, stored like up and down, like we
Right.
normally do,
Right.
for 3 weeks. And then she had the other one that she had stored sideways, and she actually took them and just marked them side by side.
Yeah.
And there was a difference in the color of the ink.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So who knew?
I didn't. Well, I used to store mine just in a big rectangle or square, airtight lid thing, so they were lying flat. But
Yes.
I've since put them straight up and down, so I'm glad to know.
Yeah. Well, it's just one of those things you don't really even think about. And like I know these are all the Pigma pens that I've owned for like forever. Got them with scrapbooking. Oh, another whole story. But oh, I like how I chose, because now that I am over here coloring it, I chose this one as the shadow. And when it's like the light side is actually holding and bringing the shadow forward. That was a happy accident that I chose to do that side as the shadow. But
I chose that side as well. I don't know why.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? Well, we were guided to do that, so.
Yeah.
So I hope you guys who are here on the replay are having as much fun as we are. Check the time, yeah. I am going to add a little purple. And then I want to share a little bit from Tanya Gabrielle. She's the woman that I learned how to do astronumerology. And she sent an email yesterday, and I'm like, ooh, I want y'all to know this. So, all right, Mr. Black is going to have to dry before I do anything to him. Okay. Clean this brush. All right. I've been doing a lot of mixed media and learning some more techniques. So that's kind of some of the things that I'd love to share with everyone. All right, I want to look here. All right, and Tanya is, well, she is an astrologer and a numerologist. I'm learning to be. So here's what she's saying. So as we move into the Thanksgiving holidays and welcome the wonderful Gemini full moon on Friday, 2 gorgeous astrology events are uplifting our energy right now. A grand trine between the Sun, Chiron, and the North Node, and Jupiter creating a dynamic square to Mars. So a grand trine is just when these particular astrological bodies, because I have to say it that way because of what they are, they're all of the same degree, so you could connect lines to them. So we've got the Sun, Chiron, and the Moon's North Node. So they are astrological bodies, but they are all going to be at 28 degrees, which is considered a critical degree in astrology, which makes the impact of this trine even more powerful. And it's facilitating a fresh approach for you to adopt a more creative view of universe. Wow. So as we're looking at our stories, what story do we hold about the divine, about the universe, about the role of the universe in our lives? So what this means is you are now more keenly aware of your incredible inner resources to change anything in your life. Now we're back to this story business. We've got the power. We have got the astrological power to change these stories. This awareness opens doors for you to receive deep healing, to welcome the light of the divine, and trust that everything has been orchestrated by divine grace. The sun trine Chiron lights you up with spiritual purpose, and the North Node welcomes lovely people into your life who are intimately in harmony with you at soul level. Thus, tremendous healing enhances your well-being. You're invigorated and inspired to actualize your powerful inner resources. Uplifting others energetically creates a chain reaction of love in your life. You know you are an instrument of light and joy. Woo! Now, this joy that we can, if we will pay attention and be present to it, this joy that we can actually feel and know is strengthened by Jupiter's square to Mars. When happiness and energy, Jupiter and Mars, interact, it triggers a strong desire for positive action. You can easily move through obstacles, optimize any situation, and reap thrilling results. Mars square Jupiter ignites your inner fire, so you feel much more empowered to make positive decisions that end up attracting successful outcomes. Now, you do want to guard against impulsiveness, because Jupiter enhances Mars's confidence and drive, which in excess can lead to acting with little thought about consequences. So instead, stand tall. Unexpected windfalls and good fortune are yours. Trust in this outcome. Any obstacles you've encountered recently are overcome easily, or they just disappear. The beautiful, benevolent grand trine makes you feel happy to receive. Receive love, receive healing, receive serenity. Mars and Jupiter manifest wide open windows of opportunity. So welcome in the blessings. Look out for them. Expect them to grace your life. And then share your blessings with others. Jupiter will bring as many blessings as you wish for. Ooh, take a deep breath in and out. I love that idea of, well, that's interesting. I'm going to look for them. Let's let them come. Woo! Yes. Oh, my friends, I enjoyed this time together with you. I hope that you're having fun playing with your art. I look forward to seeing pictures of it in the Facebook group. And again, if you're not in Facebook, send it to me and I'll post it for you. Let us now bring ourselves to a little close. And of course, you may continue on for as long as it feels good. We're going to release the circle. Thanking all those who have gathered here with us, whether human energy or divine energy, all those who love us unconditionally. We thank you for being here and feeling into that big group hug. And as we take a step back, the energetic circle that enclosed us is now released back to Mother Earth, feeling it dissolve. Thanking each and every one of you for being here. You add your energy to this circle and your joy is felt. Let's return our energy as we have been commingled here together, and we will now separate to go about our lovely edge walking lives. So any energy in your system that belongs to someone else, we return to sender with love and consciousness. The energy that we stirred up, yeehaw, that belongs to something else. We release it to the universe to be transmuted into love. Calling all of your energy back to you from where it was out playing around, which is perfectly fine. We just want it to come back. We're going to do that on 3 breaths. Take a deep breath in, imagining your energy riding the breath. And again. And one more time. Your energy's just going and filling up all the slots where it belongs. Feeling full and whole and complete. For those of you who celebrate Thanksgiving, we wish you a beautiful, wonderful Thanksgiving, a delightful weekend, and share with us, woohoo, as you notice what's being brought to you by the beautiful Grand Trine and the square of Mars and Jupiter from our delightful, ever benevolent, loving universe. Namaste, my friends.